Before you can really dive into exactly how music production works and how to write songs and everything, I think it's really important to figure out exactly what music is. And that way, you have a good basis of moving forward and understanding exactly why you make the decisions that you make whenever you're writing a song. So, what is music? Music is the manipulation of air molecules and then the capturing of that manipulation through vibration or through our ears. We capture the sound waves through our ear canals, which then sends that information into our brain, which is where we decipher the code that is sound. At this point, the individual experiencing this deciphering of that information has a decision to make. Is it dope or is it not? Everyone's perception of the same sound is slightly different. In the same way that colorblind people see the object but not all of the colors, we hear the sounds, and based off of our own ability to interpret those sounds, we have access to a lot of information or very little. Two people can both be listening to the same exact thing and yet interpret them in completely different ways. Which leads me then to the question, why do we like the music that we do? The crazy thing about music is that it has the ability to be defined and yet is undeterminable. It's all completely based off of preference. Some people like hip hop, some people like country, and some people like both. And in the same way that you and I can have completely different preferences for music, geography in itself could just play a part in the type of music that you like. For instance, there are certain chord variations, for instance, A minor, that has an emotional connotation in some parts of the world and a completely different one in the other. For instance, we could see the A minor chord here in the US and in Western culture with our pop music and everything that's been on the radio this last, 100 or so years. We may see the A minor chord as a sad chord, something that emits a sad emotion. Whereas in Eastern cultures or in Arabic speaking countries, an A minor has a completely different connotation. So that means not only is the sound itself and our ability to decide whether we like it or not is predetermined based off of our own individual context, the area in which we reside and the people around us shape in a way how the chords are perceived and the tonalities are transferred into emotions. And on that note, the idea that tones and sounds and chords and anything can emit an emotion is such a Homo sapien thing to do. Distorted air molecules creating sound waves, they don't have an inherent perceived emotion. They aren't an emotion. They are emotionless. They are just a thing. The point in which it becomes an emotion has a connotation, has a context. It's all based off of our own individual perceptions as people. But that is not the whole picture. For instance, an individual's perception of a sound in a song or whatever, that's not the whole story. Not only do we put emotions and determinations on a set of sounds and sound waves and broken up air molecules, the perception of the sounds that we put on is also perceived by other people. And in that way, we are able to interact with other people who perceive the same exact sounds. That was really roundabout. Essentially, music can form identity. Music has been part of our species' culture for at least 35,000 years. It's one of the cornerstones of society as we know it. Every society on Earth, even the most tribal, have some sort of music. I can't see that as a coincidence. Music, and more importantly, the interpretation of that music, allows us to feel an emotional connection to the people around us. It helps us bond with the tribe. It gives us that unspoken way of communicating, saying that, do you like this? I like this. We should be friends. And because the ability of music just allows us to connect deeper with those around us, I don't think it's a mystery why it's one of the first questions you ask to someone you just met. It may seem like a trivial question, just like set of basic questions you ask someone besides their name, like what kind of music are you into, but it can make or break a new relationship. After all, you don't want to be part of a tribe that listens and enjoys music that you're not into, because it's just one less thing that you can connect with them. This is a channel and a podcast for musicians and people just starting out in music. So the question now goes on to you. What type of people are in your tribe? What particular set of sound waves do you love the most? And how does that 3 or so minute assortment of distorted air molecules make you feel? Let me know down in the comments. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And enjoy the distortion. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Have a good one.